Yo, everybody, welcome to another episode of ArmTalk. I'm your host, Jody Williams, and this is part 2 of the third series of the Challenge Call. Now, the last 2 weeks ago, I had my guest, David Till, on here. Well, guess what? Once again, we have brother Brennan Till. Brennan, how you doing, sir?
Hey, good, man. How are you doing?
You know, I'm doing pretty fine. I'm glad I got the opportunity to have you on so we can do this part 2. And your opponent, Aaron Yearsley. Aaron, are you in the house?
Oh, I'm here.
Yes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I'm so excited to have this because I think what people need to understand is that there's a lot of tournaments in the Northwest that don't get the recognition. And now that we got one coming up on August 20th, I want to make sure I get everybody out there wondering what's really going on. So, Brennan, I had David on the show a couple weeks ago. So tell me in your words how this whole thing, happened.
It's kind of crazy from the start because I remember we've been talking about it for a while now. But we kind of wanted to get something going up north because we've been traveling so much. I mean, I did Brush Prairie. That was my first tournament, and that was kind of when I started taking arm wrestling seriously. And then right after that, I had to go to Montana. Did a tournament over in Montana, and then not even a week after that, I came back and we had a small one in Athol. And after we had that small one in Athol, the support around it was just insane. In the same place that we did that small super match and tournament at is where we're having our poll.
Yeah.
The support was crazy. The owner of the bar, in it 110%. And so we were just, at that point on, we've been talking about it for a while now. So I'm finally glad we were able to get enough, a pretty big group of amazing pullers, and Aaron and Nick and yourself, Jody, to get them to come down to Idaho and see what we have to offer. Because, just like everyone else around the world that takes this sport seriously, so do we. So
right.
I'm getting pretty excited for it. But it kind of came really fast. It was really fast. David told me he talked to you, and you said yes. And then right after that, Jason talked to Nick, and he said yes. And then David brought up the idea of Aaron because we had saw him in Snohomish in his super match.
Right.
And I didn't get to pull Aaron, and I also didn't get to pull his opponent. But just watching their matches, I felt like that's a fantastic challenge and opponent I'd be able to go up against. So I decided I'd try and take that route. And he said yes too. So now we have this giant base of pullers too. It all kind of worked out really fast and in probably the best way possible leading up to this tournament.
Well, good. I'm glad. Before we let Aaron in and stuff like that, let's go ahead and let some people in the chat. P. Carter's in the house. He wants to say hi. David Till says hi. Christopherson, I can't pronounce the first name. You know the Christopherson?
Yeah, that'd be
Alec, okay. He says hi, what's up? Daniel Urick's in the house. All right, and everybody, since you're watching, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the like button. Now, Mr. Aaron, once you went ahead and heard the news about, hey, we got some guys wanting to challenge us, and we're talking strong guys, what exactly was how did the story unfold for you? Because it kind of unfolded for me differently.
Well, it was actually kind of funny because we were on the way back, me and my lady, and we were on our way back from your tournament. Like, we're literally not even about halfway home, and I start getting my phone starts going off, and it's his brother hit me up, or I can't remember who exactly. I think it was his brother who asked if I wanted to do a super match.
Right.
I think, and I'm like, sure. And then I did a little research real quick and just saw him. I'm like, okay, yeah. I had never told this person, so I like those kind of matches better than almost knowing my opponent because you just go there and do yourself. You have your own game plan. You just do what you do best, right? And it keeps it really exciting because there's nothing really to worry about because you're pulling yourself basically. As long as you do what you're supposed to do, it usually turns out in your favor, most of the time.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Because once the only reason why this connection happens Brennan, tell me something. You guys train with Doug Goodman, correct?
Yeah. He actually right now as we're doing this podcast, David is pulling Doug right now while they're listening.
Hey, Doug, David, how you guys doing?
That's awesome.
But I already told Doug that I'd be there this Sunday because he hasn't felt my right arm in, I don't know, about 6 weeks or so. I've been training it pretty heavily, so I get to pull a Doug, and then there's another guy there. His name is Kevin. That guy's an animal. He's got the most immense side pressure I've ever felt.
Right.
And he did a fantastic at Brush Prairie tournament. Jody, I don't know if you remember him. He was killing his weight class. But
I remember you guys had like team shirts, and it was an all black shirt, but on the back had like some red and yellow on it or something like that.
Yeah,
or
some
orange.
red on it. It's like orangey red.
Yeah.
Kevin was killing it there. And that was my first tournament, so I came in with all the jitters. Now that I've got a couple, I kind of know better how to act. But yeah, I get to pull with Doug all the time. Robert Bear, I get to pull with him coming up here soon, and train my hand even farther. And then Kevin, and obviously I get to pull with David anytime I want to. So I mean that always helps. I always let him get into his most favorable spot right-handed because it's kind of hurt right now. So he goes into his most favorable spot, and I try to pull him out of it. And it's great training. So I get to go against those guys all the time, and it's a great blessing because usually up here in Idaho, I'm sure if I didn't have these connections, it'd be pretty hard to find someone to actually train with other than the gym.
Right.
Because only brute strength will only get you so far.
Well, I'm excited, and the chat is already fired up. There's nothing wrong with a little, friendly smack talk. But hey, guys, I only see one like button. Let's get these likes up, okay? So, Mr. P. Carter says, and I want both you guys' thoughts on this. Mr. P. Carter says, Brennan's going to hang this man's arm over the fireplace after the W. Mr. Aaron Yearsley, what do you have to say about that comment?
Well, I really like his confidence in his guy. I mean, and the thing is, like, honestly, Joey, like we've talked about it already quite a bit. I'm not taking him lightly at all. I mean, my plans are to come to Idaho, probably the biggest, baddest version of myself to date. So, I mean, I'm coming there very, very focused, serious. I mean, I'm not taking him, even though he has maybe less experience in the sport, but that doesn't mean anything. That's like the one time you take somebody lightly is the time you get hung up, So I'm coming to this very serious, very focused. I will be very, very strong, I'm pretty sure. Because I put in the time, I put in the work. And the last 4 months I've saw quite a bit of improvements, just all everything combined is kind of starting to come together. And it's really kind of fun now because I'm actually get to use it and see where my hard work is starting to, where's it showing up at, how's it paying off,
I do see your videos, Aaron. I see you putting in the work in the gym too. I don't think I post as much as you do. So, I mean, that's a bad thing, but I see your videos, and I mean, it's also pretty motivating. I've hit a couple 2-a-days because I see some of your videos. I'm like, yeah, better go again. I know I can't take you lightly either, man.
Yeah, and that's good that you see the videos, and it's like, yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I like doing the videos because it's something fun for me to do, and it's just, I mean, not really, it's just something fun, but yeah, I mean, putting the work is that. I mean, that's like the biggest thing that I've learned like in the last 2 years, especially with me and Jody when we prepped for a super match that I had out in Philadelphia. I mean, and that's one thing as Jody's always instilled in me is, you got to put in that work. No matter what you do, if you put in the work, things will happen. And if you don't, well, I'll say things won't happen for you. So as long as you're steady, you just grind on it. Like he always says, it's a marathon, not a race. So just keep on working at it.
I have one question for Aaron real quick, Jody, before you.
Yeah, go
I know
ahead.
you're going to move on real quick. I have one question for Aaron about his training. Aaron, I was watching your videos. You post. I mean, I noticed you kind of bulk post a little bit, which is. I saw one, and I was watching it through, and it looked like you had roughly 265 on the bar on bench, but it didn't go all the way through, so I didn't get to see what you had on, like how many reps you did on that little beauty.
Oh, 265. Probably right now, I can probably do 265 for probably 6-8.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering because I saw it, and then the video cut off. I was like, I don't think he meant to do that.
You gotta keep you guessing.
That's
was that part of the plan?
Unless you asked.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brennan, tell us from an Idaho standpoint, because we got all the Idaho crew in here and stuff, in the chat. Feel free to ask questions, everybody. Don't hesitate. But meanwhile, I want to know, how is the promotion going so far?
Fantastic, man. Right now, I just transferred back to the Sandpoint shop from the Coeur d'Alene shop where I work. And, I mean, we got flyers hanging on the door. And when I went and worked at Coeur d'Alene, David's handing out flyers to every customer that comes in.
Good.
So, I mean, I feel like there'll be no short of people there. And I feel like the last month, I think from probably August 10th on, is really when the word will start to spread pretty quick, because I think people don't tend to talk very much until the event is close.
Okay.
I think when it's the last 10 days, the word will start to get out really good. I think that Athol Pastime Bar will start hanging up their flyers and giving them out if they haven't already. But I think that's when the talk will start to come. And I fully expect probably 300, 400, 500 people. I expect it to be hard to walk around. Like if you're waiting to go get a drink in the bar, it might be a while kind of thing.
Just as long as someone brings our drinks to us, we'll be all right.
Exactly, man. I'll need a shot of rye whiskey before I start pulling.
There you go. I want to say, though, and I told David on the show here 2 weeks ago, and I said, because there's another tournament before you guys' tournament. So there's a tournament in Southern Oregon, Myrtle Creek, Oregon, the Joe Wood Invitational. I always go there because all proceeds go to the Prevention Suicide Program. So I always go there. I always make it a point to go there and pull. And I'm going there again this year, but I'm going to go to referee. If I decide to pull, then I'll go ahead and pull right-handed. But I told David that because our match is left-handed, I was not going to participate at the Joe Wood event because I want to make sure I'm as fresh as possible, because for all the work that you guys have been, all you guys and everybody in Idaho, we love you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It would be disrespectful for me to show up not 100%. So as much as I want to pull that tournament in Myrtle Creek like I always do, I'm going to take a back seat, but I'm going to still help out, referee the event. But I want to make sure that I told David, hey, man, you went through all the hard work to get us there. The least I can do is show up 100% and give you everything I got. So that's what I told David. Now, this question goes to you, Aaron. What are your plans leading up to this event coming up on August 20th?
As far as like my preparation, or as far as the tournament, the other tournament?
Well, I mean, as far as, what are you doing to get ready for that? Because there's another tournament before you and I and Maurer and the rest of the boys go up to Idaho, and I'm going to sit that one out.
I'm not gonna. I would like to go down and support just because it's a good cause, but I don't feel like I really should pull just because, like saying, what if I actually injure something a little bit, Then
right.
What, then I don't come 100% Idaho, and that's just the same deal. I want to be ready. I'm more excited for this one actually than Myrtle Creek, because I did Myrtle Creek last year. It's a really fun tournament, but this one's really exciting for me. So I really love Idaho anyways. I've been up there a million times. Not that part of Idaho, which is why it's even more exciting for me this time, just because it's somewhere I haven't been in Idaho.
Right.
So I want to really make this a really fun thing. So I'm coming fresh, ready to go. No distractions. I'm just training hard, doing what I do until it's go time, and I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna get out of that car, and hopefully everybody craps bricks sideways when they see me.
There you go. So Brennan, tell me about your training leading up to this big event, because it's only July 7th, and we're not going to be getting together until August 20th. So we still got nothing but time to go ahead and make sure we dot our I's, we cross our T's, and all kind of stuff. Can you, without telling your whole secret, can you let everybody know your training leading up to this event?
Yeah, totally. I won't give away my whole secret, but first things first, I've pretty much given up on my legs. Legs are out of the chat.
There you go.
I usually work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mm-hmm. I'll go to the gym right after work. I work 10 to 11 hours a day. Changing the biggest tires you ever seen. So I'm already pretty tired. So I'll go get about an hour. I cap out at about an hour working out. I don't take breaks between sets. I go as fast as I can. I try to sweat my ass off in there.
Right.
The funny thing is when I did my super match against David, I was weighing in at about 270, And that was back when I'll throw one number out. When I was weighing about 270 right before I supermatched David, I was putting up 415 on bench.
Nice.
And then I cut down to and then I called Aaron out, and so now I'm going to try to get my way back up to about a healthy 237, 238, because if I'm not mistaken, he's coming in at 242 to 243.
I'm gonna try to. We'll see what the old body wants to do, but I'm gonna really try to get there. That's a goal. That's a long-term goal too. So we'll just see what she does. I'll be the biggest I've ever been. So we'll see.
I totally understand you, man, because the fluctuation of weight's the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's definitely the hardest part about arm wrestling, is because I've gone from super heavyweight now down. I'd be in the 220 to 242 class. So it's a whole big difference for me. But I've been training. I've been in the gym every day, and then at the gym. I always utilize ways to get my arm wrestling game up. I just don't do your normal average workouts. I do everything I could possibly do to get my style of arm wrestling to be trained harder.
Right.
And then I have a couple tactics at home that I use while I'm just sitting watching a movie. I mean, I'll be watching a movie and then doing a couple different tactics I have there for 2 hours.
Right.
Generally, it's just been my right hand more than not. My left hand's starting to become my party arm. I'm just using to help train David against you, Jody.
Yeah, well, you know what? And I got my last match I had was at my tournament last month, and I pulled a guy named John Laverne. And they're Idaho guys, you know. It seemed like Idaho came to Oregon and just kind of like was just guns blazing, so to speak. Robbie Topi was there. Kenny Ferguson, who's in the chat right now, he was there. Idaho came deep. TJ Lewis was there. So I was training for Robbie, left-handed. So I had no idea I was going to pull John until the night before when we had, early weigh-ins. And it was kind of like, it was brought to me going, hey, John wants to pull you. You want to pull him? I'm thinking I did not even plan on pulling a tournament. Long story short, I pulled him. Has a solid hand and wrist where he actually put me in pain. Like I'm just now starting to get, I'm about 90% now, where it took me a while. And that tournament was late June. And I was like, no, not even late June. It was like mid-June. And I was just sore, so it goes to show you that, you can never judge a book by its cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I pulled David and Athol right hand, left hand super match. Just because, we always had that brotherly, rivalry growing up, everything. He's 3 years older than me. I've always wanted to best David. Right. Since day one, I've always wanted to. I shoot for David as he's 24, not as he was when he was 21, kind of thing, like I am now. So I always shoot for David as his best. And when we did the super match in Athol, I beat him 4-2 right-handed. He beat me 4-2 left-handed.
Right.
So it's like as even as you could possibly get. Now pulling him now, even though I beg to differ, I'm way more technically sound than I was when I pulled him in a super match. I cannot touch this man's left hand. I can give it some solid pressure if he lets me get to where I want to go. I can beat him, but I cannot get to where I want to go. His hand, it's just his whole style is so demeaningly strong. It's getting good. So I think Jody, you got a good match set out for yourself.
Hey, I love the challenge, and I take that on. I know for a fact you guys are like watching video and stuff, and I know because like yourself, I have a football background. So when I train for super matches, it's that old football mentality where we got to break down footage, right? I played on the defensive side of football. We got to break down the offensive formations. What do you see? So the same thing in arm wrestling. I got to see. I'm looking at foot placement, elbow placement. How's your body leaning one way or the other for what kind of pressure are they giving without actually gripping up? So, but we got some stuff in the chat. Robert Kelly's in the house. Robert says these guys are too strong up north. That is true because we don't get the, when you talk about arm wrestlers up in the Pacific Northwest, you talk about Jacob Babbitt, Team Strong Arm, and it pretty much stops there. But I know for a fact there's some boards in Oregon. There's some boards in Idaho who can really get the job done. Aaron, this comment's for you. Kenny Ferguson wants to know whatever happened to being the best 200-pounder.
The best 200-pounder?
Yes.
Well, I'm still in the 200 pounds.
After that,
200 something, you know.
I mean, as far as like, I mean, I guess when I probably said that, I kind of more meant like our weight class, the 199 to 242, so in that range.
No, I think he meant not too long ago when you guys had your match when it was first announced, and there was a picture you had, and you were weighing 198, and you said it's time for me to get back to that. I think that's what he meant.
Oh, when I was planning on getting back down to the lower weight class.
Yeah.
Well, ever since me and you pulled, I got up to like, what, I think 230. And it just seems like, I don't know if it's just because I'm older and my body likes to be a little heavier. I mean, it seems like I'm just sitting around. I mean, it's hard for me to dip below 199 now or into the 198s. I mean, I have to really work at it. And, you know me, dude, I kind of like to eat. So
don't we all?
Yeah.
You know?
So, I mean, for me, like maybe in the future, maybe, I don't know. I really enjoy who's in the 242 class. I mean, I think I think both of them have a lot to offer as far as great talent, you know, both the 98 and the 242s. I pulled the 198s for the first half of my career, and I'm enjoying being a little bit bigger right now. So for now, I think I'm just going to stay where I'm at, maybe, and just try to cap and get to the 240 range and see how I feel. See if I even like it. I might get there and be like, okay, I feel really gross and fat and sluggish and whatever. I might not really like it. So
right.
We'll see how that, if I like it, if it works well for my style. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying something like this go around. I mean, this is like we talked about that one time. This is like my second career, right?
Yeah,
so I'm trying to do a little different. So I'm going to try a different weight class and, you know, try to get a little bigger, maybe a little more power in me, and just go from there. But maybe after, I don't know, maybe I know after I get to like the 240 range, I might stay there for a little bit. And I've always wanted, I know this has nothing to do with arm wrestling, but I always want to do a bodybuilding show. I might drop down and cut up for a show maybe in a year or so.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, let me ask you a question, Brennan. With all this going on, how do you see this event when this event comes and goes, and it's Monday, August 22nd? What do you expect is going to happen as far as, hey, that's an awesome event, when's the next one? Do you think you may hear things like that or no?
No, I definitely think we will. And I think touching back on Aaron's point of being in the 240s, Aaron, I think, I don't know if you've been there before in your past, but coming out of high school, I mean, I was a center D tackle. I was in the 270s, so I was always a heavy boy. But cutting down now, I think it'd be really cool if you ended up doing the same thing. So after this, regardless of who wins, we can call each other out for a rematch in a different weight class. Because I was already in a weight cut. I didn't even plan on pulling you until the name just kind of popped up.
Right.
So I think it'd be really cool afterwards if like we had the chance to pull again in a different weight class. That'd be awesome, regardless of who wins. I think it'd be sweet because I think it's gonna be war either way. But anyways, going back to Jody's point here, afterwards, I think this is going to really ignite the sport in Idaho. And I think that right afterwards, I think there's going to be a lot of people asking where I practice, where David practiced, where Jason practices, where Doug practices, because I know he's going to be there. I know he's listening. I think it's going to be the same thing over there in Washington. I think people are going to ask Nick, like, what do you do? I think people are asking Jody, what do you do? I think I'm going to ask you, Aaron, what do you do? Like, how do you prepare for this? What's next? Like, what do you do? I think it's going to be super cool, and I think there's going to be plenty of opportunity for people to join in on that. But at the same time, I feel like there's going to be the same amount of people that are a little bit aged for the sport that are going to think, I mean, I won't be surprised if we hear once or twice someone yell in the crowd, you're going to break his arm. Whereas we know what we're doing, but we're going to hear someone yelling that. I guarantee it. I more than guarantee someone is going to yell that. Just based off my past experiences, like especially in Montana. And Montana is not very much different up here than North Idaho. And I don't know if you've been up here, it's pretty much the same as Montana. Think of Montana, it's North Idaho.
Wow. I'm glad you brought that up because
some of the ladies yelling that.
I'm glad you brought that up because Miss Tiffany says, hey, if any of you Oregon boys ever been up to this area before, I'm on the show, Aaron's on the show, Tiffany, Mauer's in the actual chat, so I'll go first by saying I've never been to the Panhandle portion of Idaho. I've only been to Idaho for events twice. Once in 2013 at the Western Idaho Championships in Boise, and then at the TAL2, that was 2020, I believe, up in the Meridian, right outside of Boise. So I myself have never been there. Aaron, have you been to Idaho? Up in that northern part?
Like central and like kind of like eastern, like up to like Pocatello, Island Park, all that area. But as far as up in the Panhandle, not really. Like maybe a little bit up in there, but like maybe the start of the handle, but not like up in there, right?
Right.
So can I guys a recommendation real quick?
What's that?
So I used to live down over there in Burns, Oregon. Jody, I don't know if you know that, or Aaron, you.
Oh yeah.
Burns, Oregon. Yeah, that's some desolate desert land. And eastern Idaho is kind of like the same thing. Coming into Boise, you might see a little bit more trees.
Okay.
But, you're in desert land regardless. So coming up into northern Idaho, after your guys' Apple tournament, I highly recommend you guys make your way up to Sandpoint. If you haven't loved Athol and Coeur d'Alene already, it's just mountains, lakes, and trees, and pretty fields, and it's just like Montana, but prettier. So I highly recommend that, especially after I lived my 2 years over there in Burns. I did it my junior and senior year of high school. I played football over there and wrestled over there.
Yeah,
I highly recommend coming up north in Idaho. It's a whole different world up here.
Well, I'm about to check it out with the wife and stuff. So, but Nick Mauer's in the chat. He has a question. Mauer says, "What do you guys?" This is for you, Brennan. What are you guys doing during practices? Just pull each other and see what's up, or is it more of a specialized?
Aaron, you want to tackle that first?
As far as what we do at practice, there was some beeping that kind of cut out a little bit. I didn't quite hear most of that.
I think that question was towards you, Brennan. What kind of practice you guys do?
What do we do up here?
Yeah, as far as you guys practice with each other, is it like more specialized stuff? You just kind of get on the table and pull, or how does that? Is there any kind of theory going into it?
All right. Well, so there's not a theory going into it if you're not going into a super match. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
You're going to pull. You're making yourself better in whatever way, shape, and form there is possible. Whether you're pulling how you pull, or you're pulling at someone else how they pull to make them better. Right. So practice is very, very well rounded around the individual that wants to get better, and then vice versa. Because whoever is pulling against them gets to feel their best spot, and they're trying to get that better, or their worst spot, and they're trying to get that better. If I'm being 110% honest with you, I have not been back to this group since I've called out Aaron to the super match, because I have been doing my 110% my own thing. Right. I have an arm wrestling shop. I haven't pulled Doug. I haven't pulled Robert Bear. I'm getting ready to do that this weekend. I don't think Robert Bear will be there, but I know Doug will be. This weekend, one thing I'm always training, especially because I know Aaron is very, very trained in this, watching his super matches. I've done some of my film watching, but is ready to go. No one in the history of arm wrestling goes on go. They always go on the first sound they hear when they hear "g." So I'm always training that. Always.
Right.
Try to be the best version of me possible. That's one big thing I'm always training right now is a ready go. And then I think the next thing past that is we always train the spots where, like, I'll do some film watching, and I'll watch where Aaron goes. And that's kind of where my little bit of an advantage comes in, because there's not a whole lot of film of me out there.
Right.
I don't think he quite knows where I go. If he does,
there's something to be said for that. There's something to be said for that, because again, here we are, Mauer, Aaron, and myself. There's all kind of footage of us out there, but little to almost no footage of you guys. So yes, as far as studying for that, you guys have the advantage. And Mr. Fueling Fitness, who is Jason, by the way, is in the chat. He says, "Get ready, Nick." And in 2 weeks, I'll have Jason and Mauer on this show, so those guys can have their say and stuff. But that's going to be a match. Let me tell you right now. Oh yeah.
I pulled with Jason. I pulled with Nick in I actually don't think I pulled him in Brush Prairie. I might have. I cannot remember, to be 100% honest with you. I remember watching him pull and watching how he pulls. And Jason and I have been training for months and months and months and months and months. He got into it. I mean, he's the most greenhorn puller out of us six. That kid, Jason, he is getting strong. I mean, I struggle with him now when I used to just wipe the floor with him.
Right.
And I've not been taking my training lightly either. I mean, I am super excited to watch that match. That's going to be a war. I mean, I feel like if David versus Jody, me versus Aaron is good, and Nick versus Jason is going to be great. That's going to be I almost want to predict hands down the best match out of all three of us.
Well, it sounds like I know what order these matches are going in. It sounds like Jason and Nick are going last. Do you know what order the matches are going in?
I'm pretty sure we have someone coming to film.
Right.
Cannot remember his name off the top of my head, but I feel like his condition was he wants to pull someone first. So it'll probably go him and whoever he pulls first.
Right.
And then I believe it'll go actually last to first. I think it'll go Jason and Nick first. And if that is the best match, by golly damn, that'll get the crowd riled up. And then I believe it'll go me and Aaron, and then David versus Jody.
Oh, yeah, put all the pressure on us.
Okay. Yeah, you guys get the pressure. I'm
just glad I'm not kicking it off. Like, I'm always the first match.
That's how I was. I remember when I went to Montana, I was the first match up in the whole thing, and I was a super heavyweight. I thought they'd go light to heavy, but they switched it up. I mean, I believe if I'm incorrect, let me know. I'm about 99% sure we're doing WAL rules. They did classic table rules, almost like you had the pad, on the table, right?
Right.
And you can move around on that table, correct? They had it. There was a pad on the table, but it was like a circle pad from back in the day.
Oh, donut pad.
The donut pad.
Yeah, that's how they had it. And I will tell you what, man, we're not doing that. I did not train for that in the slightest. And I mean, it definitely caught me off guard. I still walked away with second place, but there was how do you walk into that expecting that? Yeah, we're having rules from 1984. Like, what?
We had a good question, and I'm going to do a follow-up question. So the first question is from Nick Maurer. He wants to know, hey, what kind of tables are we using? Are we using like WAF tables, like the 7x7-inch elbow pads? Are we doing the WAL pads where they have the extra 2 inches off the back? What exactly are we looking at as far as tables?
I think as far as tables go, we'll probably go with a pretty standard pad, not the WAL pad.
Okay.
Because I think, like David and I train on this one table, that's probably the classic 7x7. And that's not towards anyone's advantage. I think it's more of people's advantage if they use the WAL pad in the WAL rule, especially if they're good at the King's move. So I think we'll probably stick with a standard pad on that route. It'll probably be the reversible pad where you have a right arm set and a left arm set.
Yeah.
As opposed to that diagonal setup or the straight setup, which is what I had in Montana, which was horrible. I think we'll have the setup for right hand or left hand. It'll be straight down to a pad, not a wire. It'll be down to a pad. And you can obviously win or lose below the pad and out of the table. And I believe also the same rules will apply to if you slip in too much of a losing position, then you'll have the foul called on you. Like if I'm right down by the pad and then I slip out of it and it's apparently obvious that I slipped out on my own wanting to slip out for hopes of a strap, then I get the foul.
Okay, and we just to make sure, like, what rules are we using? Are we doing, hey, don't move, go, ready, go? Are we doing like, just get your standard grip and then go from there? Or is it thumbs down, close your hands? Because, a lot of this stuff, it does. That way we can kind of get prepared for this, And David, you're in the chat. You can feel free to chime in too.
I'm gonna talk into to David on that one a little bit because I know he's kind of the head of this whole tournament, to be honest with you. But I'm sure it'll be the close the thumb, close your hands. But I pretty much can almost guarantee that Doug will be part of the reffing.
Okay.
And Doug is very technically sound on how he refs because he refed our super match.
Right.
If he felt David pulling on my hand, he reset and ref gripped. Or not necessarily ref grip, he just reset it. And if he reset it more than 2 or 3 times, then he ref gripped it. And then next person to pull on that before the go was fouled.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty standard. So if he feels like if Aaron and I grip up and Aaron's leaning that back pressure in like a fucking nightmare and I call it, I mean, he's top rolling me before I'm even out of this go,
right?
Then he'll reset it. And vice versa. If I'm doing the same thing, then Aaron can call that and they'll reset it. It was never, if you go on the go, he wasn't the kind of guy to call a reset. I mean, that's just fair game. You go. I mean, when it's time to go, you go. So.
Oh yeah. You guys know how fast I am, right? Just so we're clear.
I don't know how fast David is. Jesus, I cannot keep up with his speed.
It's gonna be some explosion. And Adam in the chat, he said a comment a while ago. He said, "Hey, Oregon guys are gonna win 3-0, showing up big." So I don't know if you guys are aware of this. That me and David talked about this on the last show, but Brennan, you do realize that Nick Maurer, Aaron Yearsley, and myself, we all live in different parts of the state of Oregon. You guys realize that, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think it'd be the same for Idaho if it were different parts of the state. I mean, I'm sure someone would comment Idaho 3-0 that I have no idea who the fuck they are. But it's the kind of thing where you're loyal to your state. So I know someone that comes from Idaho is going to be hoping one of the Idaho guys pulls it out. Because I know for a fact that the Oregon guys are favored 3-0 every match. I know it. I know it.
The 3 guys involved, we're on separate teams in Oregon. We have our own teams. You do know that, right?
The thing is, Jason's not a part of our team in Raftrum.
Oh, okay.
So, if you think about it, he only pulls with me and David and whoever shows up at the shop. Right. He likes to dabble back into the rafting team a little bit, but most of the training's on his own. And I tell you, the progress that he makes has been tremendous. I've pulled a lot of people as much as it may seem, me being only 21. I pulled a lot of people. Jason's progress has been crazy, and I think he is the one that will be the X factor in this whole tournament. He's the one that'll be an unknown. Like, I mean, you think there's little film on me and David? I mean, you go find Jason. You can't. You cannot.
Right.
So, that'll be the X factor into it all.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, like Aaron's team, Brute Squad in Portland. That's the biggest team in Oregon by far. And my team, Twisted Wrist, down here in Central Oregon, we are the longest reigning team, currently going right now. Maurer has his team. He's starting to get his guys going now. And every now and then, Nick and a few of his guys will go over to, train with Aaron Yearsley and his team. And, I'm like 3.5 hours away. So it's a drive for them just to kind of come up here. But it sounds like, Aaron, Nick, that the 3 of us are going to have to get together at some point pretty soon to get ready for you guys on the 20th. What do you think, Aaron?
Oh, I already knew that was probably going to happen, so I was waiting for you to say something.
Because I'm telling you right now, and as you can see, Adam's here, the Brute Squad. You're going to, I'm sure, at some point, you're going to hear that all weekend up in Athol, Brute Squad. It's like, okay, we're rolling deep. There's a few, I think there's a couple teammates from Aaron that's going to show up to the event. I know one of my teammates is thinking about it. I don't know how many people from Oregon are coming exactly, but I know there's a lot of interest. There's some guys from Jacob Babbitt's Team Strong Arm guys in the Seattle area. They're going to make the trip. So I expect this tournament to be pretty darn big,
Should be a lot of good talent.
I'm hoping for not only just the big tournament, I'm hoping Idaho gets exactly what Oregon has.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's not just one team pulling that everyone knows about. I hope there's 3 to 4 that everyone kind of goes to. There's one in the Boise area. There's one in the Sanborn area. There's one in the Twin Falls area.
Right.
And like we all
Pocatello.
Make a trip up and pull. Sweet. I'm hoping this opens the eyes in Idaho that just because Idaho, which is most definitely a true fact, a smaller population state. I mean, there's still people here. You can still do what you want to do. You can still pull. I mean, it just takes commitment. It doesn't take people. It takes commitment. Someone has to commit to it. And then as soon as someone does that, a crowd will follow. And so,
well, good.
Hopefully, if this doesn't become, which would be sweet, if this becomes a every year tournament.
Oh, yeah.
If it does, hopefully someone somewhere in Idaho says, you know what, I'd like to arm wrestle. And then they get into it. And then if we affect 10 people and 10 people start arm wrestling from our tournament, that would be fantastic.
David has a question for you, Brennan, but before we get to that, yes, Adam from Oregon, he said he's going to go ahead and book his hotel. There is something I saw. It says from Kenny Ferguson, you know, your Idaho guy, says Robbie and Cody can't wait. So I'm assuming he's talking Robbie Topi and maybe Cody Merritt. If they come, that'll blow the roof off this tournament.
Oh, yeah, that'll make it big.
But they're big in size. They're big dudes.
Yeah.
Cody Merritt's a big man. I held on to his hand and I was like, damn, that's a build.
He's a great dude too.
Yeah, I held him up in Brush Prairie. Got a photo with him, and I was like, oh, man, that feels like a forum I couldn't blow through.
Nope.
So the question from David to Brennan, he says he has a question for you. He goes, how strong you going to be right? It says how strong you be right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Not nearly as strong as I'm going to be. After I cut to the 220s, I mean, I kid you not, my bench went from 415 to 350 really quick. I mean, when you cut that fast from the tournament to now.
Right.
But as far as where I'm going to be tournament-wise, I'm going to be the fullest 235 to 240 I possibly can be. And this is not the first time I've done this. This is not the first time I've cut or gained weight, whether it be minimal or maximal. Right after high school, I cut from 270 to 222.
Right.
So I've done this before. This isn't my first time cutting weight like I'm a greenhorn doing my first time cutting weight. No, I've done it before. And I know exactly where I can be, and I'm hoping to break that coming into this tournament. And I'm going to be – I mean, right now, currently, my right hand is probably a quarter of an inch bigger than my left hand. I am training as hard as I possibly can. I'm sitting here in my truck outside work right now, thinking about the gym and what I'm going to go train.
Right.
And it's going to be, I mean, you're going to see the craziest version of Brennan as you possibly can. Because I do not take any challenge lightly. And I have never taken any challenge lightly, whether I make work a challenge. I make working out a challenge. I take everything as it's going to be my last thing I ever do. So I am going to be 110% ready, as ready as I can be. And I hope in my 110% readiness that if I'm going up against Aaron, that the next day I go against Aaron, whoever wins or loses, I hope the next day Aaron's driving home and he's like, God damn, my fucking elbow, my wrist, my forearm, my shoulder hurts. Whoever wins or loses, I'm going to put the pain down. And that's my goal. I'm going to put so much pressure down that I want it to feel like a workout, that he leaves and he feels like he got better and I feel like I got better. And in anything, it's the goal.
Well, good. I like the talk. I hear power, and both of you guys do a lot of power. So I'm going to throw some lifts out, and I want you guys to tell me where you at right now with the lifts. So let's play a game. I'm going to say bench press. Aaron, what's your number? Bench press.
My best is right now 315 for 2.
There you go. Brennan, where you at?
For 315?
For 2. That's his best. Where are you at now, bench press wise?
My best for 315. The best I've ever done is for 9. Right now, I could probably do for 6.
There you go. Deadlift. Let's start with you. Brennan, where you at with the deadlift?
Straight bar or trap bar? Because I quit the straight bar, man. I got a bad back.
Right. Okay, well, how about, and I know you could probably do more with the trap bar, but let's go. I know David's saying he's going to be about 900 or something like that, but where you are with the deadlift trap bar? We'll go with the trap bar.
I'm nowhere near his straight bar. He's talking 900. I bet you he could almost hit that straight bar.
Right.
My best straight bar is 530. I bet you trap bar right now I can get pretty close to 600.
There you go. Aaron, where you at?
I've never tried the trap bar. I would like to, but I mean, I'm just doing straight bar. And just last week I got 405.
There you go. How about
barbell? I'm very new to deadlifting, so I have a lot to grow on that one.
Right. How about barbell curl? Aaron, where you at?
Oh, I haven't hit a heavy curl like over a month, but I bet you right now I'm probably in the 140 range for reps.
There you go. Brendan, what about you?
We're talking over that little bar press zone where it's got like little downwards diagonal deal with a Z bar.
No, not the easy one, just a straight bar. I mean, I have the straight bar. I think the most I ever got on it was 170, but I knew that the more weight I put on that bar, the more stress it would put on my wrist. So I stopped doing it. So now I got like an easy bar now with a little zigzag bar, So I got that now. So I'm starting to get accustomed to that because it's a lot more forgiving on the wrist.
Yeah.
I'll have to actually try that out. I've never strict curled like that. But you guys did see the video I sent to the group chat of me doing 120. Definitely wasn't 100% strict. That was more of an arm wrestling stance I was in.
Right.
Yeah, table curl.
20. And that morning, before I sent the video of me doing 2, that morning I did 5 with my right arm, deeper than I did at the end of the day. And that was after I already pulled for an hour. So I'd be probably close to the same boat as Aaron. I've seen his arms are pretty big too.
Right.
Well, Aaron, there's a question from Kenny Ferguson, and he says, it's not a question, it's more of a comment. Kenny Ferguson says, Aaron is in trouble. What are your thoughts on that, Aaron?
That I'm in trouble?
He said you're in trouble.
I don't even know who this guy is, to be honest with you. What was his name?
His name is Kenny Ferguson. He lives in Idaho.
He was the guy that I just super matched against.
I don't know if I'm familiar with his name. Sorry, man, but thanks for the compliment, I guess.
Well, he's an Idaho guy. He trains with Robbie Topi and John Laverne and all those guys.
Idaho, Roots for Idaho.
Yeah. So he says Aaron is in trouble. Aaron, your response to that?
I wouldn't say, well, I don't know. I could be. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how strong this kid really is. As far as I don't think I'm in trouble. I think I'll be ready. I mean, that's why the way I'm preparing is I'm prepared because I don't know how he pulls, how strong he is. So the preparation is going to be widespread. I mean, there's not going to be one certain area that I'm just going to work on because that's where I know he's going to go, or everything's going to be strong. I mean, so I'll be prepared for anywhere he wants to go on the table. I'll be ready for it.
There you go. Because, and Kenny, since you're in the chat, I know you're talking about it. So are you going to make the trip? Maybe, fingers crossed. Maybe call up Jeff Moses. Maybe he can roll up there. Because I'm telling you right now, if this in you also said Cody and Robbie can't wait. Does that mean they're coming up too? So looks like Kenny says they're going to the Utah tournament on the 24th to train with Cody. So there you go. So I guess he's going to make the trip. They're going to train with Cody Merritt on the 24th of this month en route to coming up to Idaho, northern Idaho in the Panhandle. So that's going to be exciting, Oh,
yeah, for sure.
So I'm assuming everybody's going to be in the same weight class, right?
Shit.
Tournament-wise.
Sorry, Aaron, if you're tackling that first, go ahead. But I know Idaho classes.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not far as when it comes to the tournament, if I have a super match before the tournament, that's my primary focus. That's what I'm going there to do. That's my job. The tournament is just icing on the cake. So whoever's in the tournament, is cool. It's just, for me, it's just data collection. Just where I'm at, where I'm, how things are going. My primary goal is there is come there and stomp some people or stomp a certain person.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. So, Brennan, tell me, what's up with the awards, trophies, plaques, or medals? What they looking like?
I don't think we've fully decided on a trophy or medal yet. I know Aaron sent me a couple of good ideas on a couple good ones.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, I don't want to push the Athol bar too far, or the company I work for,
right,
too far on the very first tournament.
Gotcha.
If this would become hopefully, which we're hoping for, a reoccurring thing,
yes,
then they can obviously get better and better. But I think the first tournament, I wouldn't be surprised if it just comes out to be some medals. And I hope everyone's okay with that. But
that's
it
fine
might
by
just
me.
Because
for me, medals, and I'm a trophy whore. You can see, if anyone's watching the show, you can see right behind me the medals I got, and that's just the stuff that's on the met. I got a whole box full of medals and stuff, but right behind me as we're talking, you can see all the stuff I got, all of the memorabilia. But for me, I like that kind of stuff because there's always a story behind it. So now, let's just say I take top 3, I can look back and go, oh yeah, I trained for that, and I know what it took to get to that point. So yeah, there's always going to be something like that. So Kenny Ferguson wants to know, Brennan, how does Brennan pull? Style-wise, I would imagine.
How do I pull? I don't know if I want to tell that to Joel Aaron here. If I tell him, he's going to pay for it.
I'll plug my ears.
I guess he's trying to even the playing field because, after all, you guys have all the data on us. We got, like I said, we got little to no data on you guys. So I guess that might be a question to kind of even the playing field.
It really don't matter if I know if you're an inside or outside guy, because I'll be ready for either or. So it really don't matter if I know.
To be fair, let's put it this way. After our shoot match, Aaron, I'm going to throw my left arm, my party arm, into the tournament just for fun.
Oh, I'll be there too.
I'm going to throw it in there. I mean, why not? We're already there.
Well, you got your party arm. I got my broken twig arm. So
yeah, it ain't broken no more.
I train my party arm pretty hard too, so it gets it. And both of my arms pull completely different. But I will say, my right hand and my right arm is strong enough to do anything. And so if I want to top roll, I can top roll. If I want to side pressure, I can side pressure. If I want to king's move, I can king's move. Right now, I am currently, and this might be to Aaron's advantage, and I'm not going to let him think it is, because I'm going to smack talk a little bit behind it. Right now, currently, my right arm, I feel like I have fractures in it. It hurts tremendously bad, and it does not stop me. I feel like it's as stronger as it's ever been. I feel like it's as strong as it ever almost will be, knowing that I'm only 21. I know it can only get stronger. I feel through the pain, being 21, I do not care. So I will throw my arm out, and if it breaks, Aaron, I will be the first person to let you know pulling. But
hey, man, that's bad juju.
I had mine happen before.
I am 110% confident I can do anything. And I'm not going to let you know. What was the guy's name again in the chat? Sorry.
Oh, that was Kenny Ferguson asked the question.
Steve?
Kenny,
I will not let you know which one's my favorite. But I can do a little bit of it all. And I'm training one piece better than the other. And it will be 110% ready. And it's going to be probably the strongest it's ever been in my entire life, even when I was 270, benching 415. I am specifically training this one thing, and it's coming out to be really well.
There you go. Another question from Mr. Christopherson, and even Tiffany agrees. The question is, Brennan, coming into this match, how does preparing for this match feel compared to others?
It's different. It's 110% different because when I prepared for Brush Prairie, that's a tournament you go in, Aaron, I'm sure you know, you go in, that's 20 different pullers, and you pull one time. just once.
Right.
You don't get to pull 2, 3, 4 times, anything. You go in one time. So I prepared for everything there. And that's pretty tough, especially when you grip up with different hands. And that was my first tournament. I was like, man, I didn't understand anything. So then right after that, I went to Montana. When I went to Montana, I finally understood how people grip up from not only practices, but just from that tournament as well. Like I felt people's grips and like, he's going to top roll, he's going to side pressure, so on and so forth.
Right.
So I was really prepared for that one, and that kind of bounced me up to that second rate. There's one dude there that was a dog, and I'm still trying to get a hold of him to see if he wants to come to this alpha tournament. I mean, this guy, his name is Joe. He's a dog. Then going right a week after that, so it was a Saturday when I pulled in Montana, and then the next Saturday I had a super match against David.
Right.
Match became 110% different. Not only because I had pulled David 1,000 times, I mean, both arms well over 1,000 times.
Right.
But not just knowing what I'm pulling, but knowing that I had to pull it 6 times or 5 times, you know. So this kind of realms into that zone where I have to make sure I pull Aaron, and if I find a way to beat him, then I have to pull him that same way or a different way where he's vulnerable.
Right.
Not just one. I have to do it 3 to 5 times.
Yeah.
So, and if I slip up on one, then you know you only got 2 more mistakes until you're done. So, I've been training. It kind of switched my training from everything to one thing. And if your one thing is good enough, then your one thing will be the one that takes the cake. And you have to hope that not only are you stronger in that other facet, you have to hope that the other person is hopefully training a different aspect. Right. And that their defense in that one zone is weaker than it is your offense in that one zone, or that your defense is stronger than their offense in that one zone. And I've been training both on my offense and defense in this zone, and my offense and defense in one other zone. So I'm hoping that in that training, it becomes whatever he does. Hopefully I can at least like hold him and then make an offensive move, or just offensive move my way out of there and make it to where he has nowhere to go. And obviously that's everyone's arm wrestling goal. That's everyone's from day one.
Very
you
good.
Hope that has nowhere to go. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at. I'm training. Don't train everything, but you train where you're best offensively and defensively. And then you train your second best offensively and defensively until it's failed. So like currently right now, I can barely lift my arms above my head, and I'm about to go train that bitch again.
Aaron, what's your thoughts on that?
What's my thoughts on?
On what was just said? Yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm glad that he's going to be prepared, because I mean, honestly, I mean, he's going to need it. I mean, I know he's strong, but the thing is, I'm pretty fucking strong for an older guy, and I got experience, quite a bit of experience. So, I mean, I'm glad that he's going to be prepared, because I really believe you're going to use, in my opinion, you're going to use every bit of that experience, that strength that you got, because my goal is come up there to stop a mud hole. I mean, and it's going to be a 3-0. You're not going to even slow me down, in my opinion. But
he's calling it. He's calling it.
That's my
3-0.
But that's my goal to do, right? And I hope, and that's why I'm glad I hear what you say, how you're preparing, that you're going to be ready, because in my opinion, I think it's definitely going to be needed.
That's fine. And I'm totally okay with accepting that challenge.
Cool.
But that's the same aspect goes back to you. I hope that you have no way, shape, or form of taking me lightly. Because
that's why I'm trained the way I am, because I'm going to be there ready.
I'm not coming in as your average Joe, putting my arm on the table and saying.
That's kind of what I told Jody. I go, these kids are like, they're strong dudes. You got to be very mindful of it.
Yeah. Joy, let's see here. Joyful Noise Ministry said, Brute Squad, go Aaron. This is Abe.
Oh, nice.
He said, "What's up?" So tell me something, Brennan. Mr. Kenny Ferguson wants to know how's your strap game?
Why does he want to give away everything? I can't tell him all that stuff. I love everything of arm wrestling in general. And I've become very familiar with the strap from Doug kind of teaching me the way. I felt both grips from referees, grip where they go through your hand, or your average Joe's table where they go just around it and then go through the buckle and tighten it as tight as they can.
Right.
As far as the strap goes, I do love it, and I also do love no strap, just because no strap gives you the wrist game, and then strap gives you the no wrist game. So,
right.
Especially if whoever's got the buckle whoever doesn't have the buckle can call, I want it tighter and I want it looser. You can't really call it looser, but you can be like, hey, I want that bitch tighter. And they'll tighten that bitch.
Right.
So, I'm down for anything. And if Aaron 3-0's me and we don't go into a strap, you best be sure on the 4th round, I'll be like, you know what, let's try it just for shits and giggles.
Oh, I'll give you. I'm always really ask Kenny. I gave him the strap on our match on the third match, just to let him try every possibility to get something. Because I hope I don't 3-0. Yeah, I hope it's more of a. Honestly, is it fun to 3-0 somebody? Sure. But I actually like wars better because it's better for the crowd. It's better to watch. I mean, if you just blow through somebody, it's like, okay, that was quick.
Right.
There's not a lot to see. And it would be better for the actual tournament in general if it's more of a war than a 3-0 scenario.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, the war is always way more fun.
Well, you remember it too because it's a war.
Either one of us gets 3-0'd, I would assume the other person would most definitely call the other person out again. So
sure.
Oh, set up a rematch. There you go. Well, I'll tell you what. And before we wrap this up, we have one more question. Tiffany wants to know what's a hooker pull. So it's a hook puller, but it's basically, Tiffany, if I'm using my right hand and we grip up, your movement is more like this. You want to turn your knuckles towards you and basically lean the other way or whatever. I mean, people have different versions of a hook. There's the high hook. There's the deep hook. So there's different versions of it, Tiffany. So yeah, but it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. David Till says July 4th times 2. Not sure what that means, but
Dave and I pulled on July 4th for probably 4 hours. So that's definitely what that means.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. I was wondering, that must be an inside joke or something. So
yeah, we pulled for about 4 hours straight. We had a bunch of my family here. One of my dad's friends is a wrestling coach up there in Washington, and he was wanting to get in arm wrestling, and that guy is probably 350 pounds and
big boy.
He was laying into my arm, and this is good training right here.
Nice. Well, hey guys, we've been on here for an hour. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this thing short so I can go hang out with the wifey so we can watch a little TV and relax and unwind. And as I do some hand grippers as I'm watching TV. So, hey, Brennan, Aaron, thank you for joining me on the show as my guest.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Yes, everybody in the chat, thanks for chiming in. And hey, we're not done because in about 2 more weeks, guess what? It'll be Jason and Nick Maurer will be on a guest on this show as we go into part 3 of the challenge. So, guys, we will keep in touch. We got the group chat going. Let's keep that thing going. Everybody else, enjoy your Thursday night. Guys, we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, Aaron.
Hi, Jody.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you, brother.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. It's going to be fun, dude. Either way, how it goes. Like I said, I think it's nice that we're both coming really prepared because it's going to, either way, it's going to be a fun match. Either way, whichever way it goes. So.
Whichever way it goes, man, it brings a crowd to Idaho, and I'm glad you're part of it, man.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm super stoked, dude. Trust me.
This is super awesome. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, bud.
can't wait to hear Nick and Jason on here. I think if anyone shit talks, it'll be Jason versus Nick.
Hey guys, I don't mean to cut you guys short, but I gotta take this call. But hey, we'll keep in touch. All right.
All right, have a good everyone.
Take care, everybody. Take care. Enjoy yourselves. We'll talk soon.
All right, bud.
Hello.